Hi everyone! Today we'll combine the power of RxJS for asynchronous operations and signals for basic state management to build a clean and expressive Angular application. As a prerequisite, we need to download the sample application from GitHub. I'll provide the link in the description below. Let's get started. Let's initially clone the GitHub repository. So I will clone this repository. I will copy this link, go to VS Code, and in a terminal, I type git clone with the URL, open the containing folder. This is a basic Angular application to display a list of products. So from the app folder, we have this product service that basically we get the products from a dummy JSON API, which is a fake API that we can use to get product information. So we have two methods, get all to get all the products, and we're using this product interface to display the title, the price, and the images. And also we have the option to get the products by ID. I'm using this time RxJS operator to simulate a real call and then transform this observable into this get observable using the switch map operator to get the product based on the ID. Open the command prompt and we'll install the required packages. So type npm I, execute. Now go to the main component, which is this TypeScript file. We're using Angular material for this demo, so we'll import all the required modules and the common modules to use some directives such as ngIf. Basically, we inject the product service. We have the products property to display the list of products, the associated subscription to unsubscribe in the ng undestroy method. We have this selected product ID, which is a behavior subject to emit a new ID when we select a product on the list. And we have the selected product property with the subscription. So in the ng on init method, when we initialize the component, we get all the products from the service, subscribe, and set it to the products property. So we have the subscription based on the selected product ID. We use the pipe function to use the switch map in order to get the product based on the ID. Any previous selected product IDs will be cancelled if we switch quickly in the application. So that's the importance of the switch map, to cancel previous requests. And then we'll use distinct until chase to prevent calling the API multiple times when we're selecting the same product. And we set the selected product. We have the ng undestroy to unsubscribe manually. So in the HTML, you will see that we have this list to display the title for the product. We have the option to select a product based on the ID. So we emit this ID to the behavior subject in order to display the product details. In this mod card, we have the title, the image, and the price for the selected product. And we use this ng4 directive to display all the products, just the title. So let's open the command prompt, clear the console, and set the application. Navigate to the URL. And as you will see, we have the list of products with a material component. And when we select a new product from the list, we have the product details. Open the console window, and in the network tab, you will see if I select quickly any product, it will just perform an HTTP call to the last selected product. So that's the importance to the switch map operator to cancel previous request. Close. Go back to VS Code, and from the TypeScript file, go to the app TypeScript file. Let's use a more declarative approach for asynchronous operations, and to manage subscriptions and unsubscriptions automatically, we can apply the Async Pipe. So the command module already imports this pipe, and we'll remove all the manual unsubscriptions. We'll use just the Async Pipe. So in this case, I will remove these implementations. In this case, we'll transform the products into a product observable, and with the Async Pipe, we'll subscribe automatically. So add the reference of the corresponding observable from the product service, remove the corresponding subscription, we'll keep the behavior subject to emit a new ID. And for the selected product, I will use a new observable that basically will be based on the selected product ID. We'll remove the subscription. We don't need to subscribe manually. And remove the ng on init. This is a simplification of our code using a more collaborative approach using the async pipe. So we have the product observable, the selected product ID, and the selected product that depends on the selected product ID observable. And we use the switch map to display to get the information about the product. Let's save it. And from the HTML, we'll use the async pipe. So for the products, let's add the async pipe. Similarly, we'll add the style when we select a product from the list. We'll use the selected product ID observable, subscribe automatically with the async pipe. And finally, for the selected product observable, let's save it, open the console. And okay, this is a small error. Let's save it. And remember that the $sign, just to specify that this is an observable. Go back to the Angular application and look that we have the same behavior. We have the product list, and when we select a product, we have the product details. Look how declarative is this approach by using the async pipe. But now Signal offers a more expressive and cleaner approach by combining signals with RxJS for asynchronous operations and signals for state management. So we'll use signals to handle the state management of this component. We'll move all the observables to the product service. Let's start with this product observable. We'll copy this observable to the service. Let's collapse these methods. And here I will create this observable as private. Instead, we'll convert this observable into a signal and expose this signal and access from the component. So to add that conversion, we'll use add ToSignal function that creates a read-only signal. So create a new property called products and use the ToSignal function to convert the observable. When we get the product information, we transform this observable into a signal. Let's save it and add the read-only keyword to specify that this is a read-only signal. Go back to the TypeScript file and create a product property and access the signal. And we just simply in the HTML, instead of using the async pipe, we'll access the signal. So we can get rid of the async pipe. Go back to the Angular application. We have a small error. This is a products property, save it. And now look that we're exposing only the signal to handle the state of the application to get the products. And the component doesn't know anything about the observable, about the asynchronous operation. And the signal handles automatically the subscription and unsubscription. So we'll perform the similar approach to expose only signals for the selected product ID and the selected product observables. So copy these two observables and go to the product service. Instead of using a behavior subject, we'll use a signal to handle the state of the selected product ID. So in this case, I will create a new signal of type number with an initial value and declare this observable as private. Okay, and this depends on the signal. So how to transform the signal, how to handle the state of the application and transform into an HTTP call to an asynchronous operation. So we'll use the ToObservable function to transform the signal into an observable. So call the ToObservable based on the signal. And we'll use the pipe function to apply the same RxJS operator. So when we have the new ID, we transform the signal into observable. But how to expose the signal in the component based on this result from the observable? So we use the same function to transform the observable into a signal. So in this case will be selected product, which will be a signal. We'll transform the observable result into a signal based on the selected product, and go back to the main component. I will copy the same name. This will expose the signal to notify that we're selecting a new product. And this comes from the service.selectedProduct. Similarly, for the selected product, this is selected product ID. And now go to the HTML, remove all the unused references, and in the HTML, we'll replace the async pipe by using signals. So in this case, from the selected product ID, which is a signal, we'll call the set function to emit a new value to the signal. And now we'll access the signal directly to compare the selected product ID and add the corresponding style. Remove this parenthesis and remove this async pipe. Instead, access the signal. Let's save it, open the command prompt, and there is no errors. Go back and look that we have the same product list. When we select a product, we have the product details. And how clean and expressive this code looks like. We're only handling the state of the application using signals and performing all the asynchronous calls in the product service by using observables. So we're using the best of signals and RxJS to create an awesome reactive application. Now, how to handle errors in this application. For example, if we have an error from the HTTP call, we'll catch the error in the observable and transform the response into a valid data for the signal. For example, in this getAllObservable, I will add a second operator called catchError. So basically, when we have an error, I will console this error and will also return a new observable using the off operator as null. So when we have an error, we'll return a null object. Let's change this URL. Go back to the HTML and we'll add two ngIf conditions. In this list, I will display the products when it's not null. So I will add an ngIf directive when the products is different of null. I will just iterate over the products and add a second condition. I will add a p tag with an ngIf directive. When the product is null, I will return a message that an error occurred. Let's save it. Go back to the Angular application. And look that we have this error message in the product list component. You can apply the same error handling from this material component for the product detail. So go back and fix the error from the URL. Let's save it. And we have the product list. Let's modify the URL again. And you will see in the console that we have the error from the HTTP call. If we refresh, look that we have the console log message with all the details about the error. Fits again, and we have the product list. If you want to learn more, don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video.